After saying Trump wouldn't run into school to save kids, Joy gets taken down hard by Rebecca DeCirio for MadWorldNews.com. The shrew of the View bashing President Donald Trump is nothing new, but this time big mouth Joy Behar went off script comparing the president to the cowardly deputy who refused to take action during the Parkland shooting. Joyless was upset that Trump called Deputy Scott Peterson a coward, and she added sarcastically, "Do you think Trump would have gone into that building?" As Joy continued to pump lies about gun ownership, she got taken down hard. I'd like to ask, would she run into the building? Law-abiding Americans who are gun owners and backers of the Second Amendment are getting sick and tired of the leftist propaganda machine that has taken over the entire news cycle. So am I. I'm sick of it. Since the tragic shooting at Parkland, Florida, the mainstream media onslaught is nonstop, and they've masterfully turned the conversation into one about the right to bear arms, not of school safety. The View's entire purpose is spewing the fake news talking point. So it was no shock when loudmouth Behar tied the president to the liberal loser Sheriff Scott Israel and his good buddy Deputy Scott Peterson, who had the plum shooting assignment at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. So there's a raging debate right now about having guns in school, Big Mouth Behar said last Friday. We all know that, but it turns out that there was an armed guard at the high school in Parkland who stayed outside, and it goes on. Trump called him a coward a few minutes ago. Do you think that's an appropriate thing to do? Do you think Trump would have gone into that building, she asked rhetorically. Let's just take a listen to this loudmouth instead of me reading what she's saying.
Okay, so there's a raging debate right now about having guns in schools. We all know that, to keep kids safe. But it turns out that there was an armed guard at the high school in Parkland who stayed outside while 17 people were fatally shot. Now, Trump just called him a coward just a few minutes ago. So, do you think that's an appropriate thing to do? Do you think Trump would have gone into that building?
Yeah, but I don't know why he didn't go in. I'm wondering if it's perhaps because he had a handgun and the shooter had an AR-15 and he was outgunned and outmatched. But his sole job was to protect those children.
Yeah.
And he failed woefully. And what's surprising to me is that he was in the military. He had been, there for 32 years, I believe. So you have someone with real shooting experience, training, and what I have to say honestly came to my mind was, this is the counter to that argument of, well, good guys with guns can fight bad guys with guns. You have a good guy with a gun, and he did nothing. You expect teachers to be able to do more?
I know.
You want armed teachers? This doesn't make sense.
Well, I would like to add that if we're talking about liberal teachers in the school systems, I would think twice about arming them too, because they're a bunch of wackadoos, a lot of them. Believe you me.
This is the counter to that argument of, well, good guys with guns can fight bad guys with guns. You have a good guy with a gun, and he did nothing. You expect teachers to be able to do more?
I know.
You want armed teachers?
No, just sit there like a sitting duck. That's what you should do. I agree, that's all.
This morning about her lockdown drills and what they have to do.
You know something? I don't want to hear all of this crap. If you guys want to go take a look over at them, feel free. It's MadWorldNews.com. Well, don't you love these Hollywood hussies who have no idea about police tactics and have no clue about weapons, think they know who is outgunned and who is outmatched. They spout off the talking points that that the lying anti-gun lobby has been passing around as if it's gospel. The View is only echoing the new teenage media darlings like David Hogg, who started out as a victim and now on CNN Daily, ratcheting up boycotts on the National Rifle Association. If you point out how ridiculous and how wrong their arguments are, you get viciously attacked and are called lovely names, you know? But moving right along, these anti-gun idiots don't realize is that the majority of Americans are for the right to bear arms, and those Americans took loudmouth Behar down hard. Twitter user Andy weighed in on the joyless wonder, tweeting, "Have never understood why this person has any credibility on any issue. What is her background that gives her opinion any weight on any subject? She just seems loud and obnoxious." Is that the standard to host on The View? Is that the standard? Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, it is the standard. If you want to be a host on The View, you have to be loud and obnoxious. Okay. Yeah, we're sorry to say that is the standard for being a host on The View. Loud, obnoxious, and really arrogant. Renee Harrod lit up Big Mouth Behar with this tweet. "Joy, really? You don't believe God is still speaking and you presume to sit in judgment over Donald Trump? He already ran into a burning building for the people." That is a very good statement. That would be the White House. He didn't need the grief. You just don't get it. You know, Renee, my hat's off to you. That was an excellent comment. I would have never thought of that. An excellent comment. Mark Pennington hit the nail on the head, tweeting to Joy, "He wouldn't have to. He'd have a dozen Secret Service agents in front of him. But seriously, if you're a Leo law enforcement officer, you're trained to use deadly force and taxpayers give you a badge and a gun in order for you to use it." Amen to that. Law enforcement officers have special training in these situations, especially this deputy, who was the only armed officer at the school. He would be trained to go in, not wait. That is the sole purpose of him being there. He knew it, and he knew the shooter very well, too. The View has once again angered countless Americans with the ignorance of their host as they continue to parrot the leftist propaganda. Meghan McCain is supposed to be the one voice of reason on the show, but she is just riding out her contract, and who can blame her? We see how she's cut off and belittled at every turn. That's true. My guess is it will remain on the air now, thanks to President Donald Trump. Every time loudmouth Joy Behar or wacky Whoopi Goldberg bash the president, Americans who love this country react to their lies and slander. Joy knows no one cares about her, really. She's so pathetic that the only press she can get is negative press when she bashes Trump. And that's why I guess it's part of her routine, so this way she can get press coverage. But she's a nasty human being as is, you know. She just is all around nasty. That's basically the bottom line. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And again, thank you so much for watching.